YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So I know some of you have been patiently waiting, but the time has come. The time has come to get back to the working class copper bullion bars. You know, the timing kind of worked out pretty good, you know? Because I didn't have enough copper crystal to do anything with anyways. So it sat in there, did its thing. And while it was in there doing its thing, I shot out here and smashed out my kitchen. Done. Well, kind of. Kind of done. I just got to bring up the stove at some point. Hook it up. That's nothing. And then plop in the new heating system when I get there. But that's not major demolition and dust and sanding and painting and all that crap. Just bring it up and install it. Easy. But yeah, I want to set up the copper stuff out in the kitchen because this is just not ideal here. I can't wait to put all of this down in the basement and have a nice little setup down there. But we have to work towards that goal, slowly inching our way, right? We're inching from the living room to the kitchen, and then eventually we'll be going down. Yeah, because it's been, I can't imagine it's too good to have under my TV, you know what I mean? All the evaporation. You could see the copper sulfate splatter all over my TV. And yeah, we have a good amount here. Especially after we harvest this. So this was actually due for harvest last night. But it was Sunday night and I was kind of wiped. I was pretty tired. So I let it go one more day. Oh, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but the copper is literally growing across the bottom of the bucket and is growing on the pile of mush. So letting it go too long sometimes can be an issue. I feel like if you harvest these twice a week, that's better. They just seem to run smoother if you keep pulling out what's growing. If you leave it too long, it just creates, yeah, like issues like that. You get shorts. Oh, these are going to be pretty heavy to pull out. All right, let's pump this out. I think this one looks to be worse than the other one. Oops. Yeah, never pump at the bottom. I just shoved it right to the bottom and sucked up a bunch of crap. See, yeah, you want to pump from the top down. So just submerge it as much as you have to. And slowly pump your way down. You know, I get to a point, I'll leave a little bit at the bottom. And it's just not worth trying to filter out. I'll just go and dump it in the yard, kill some weeds. My biggest fear is by accidentally spilling one of these buckets in here on my rugs. That would be an absolute nightmare. Don't think I'd have to worry about bugs in the rug though. Okay, so now we're getting to the sketchy part. I'll try to get some more though. Oh yeah, I let this one go for way too long. That is insane, dude. I literally copper. That's nuts. I had a suspicion this was happening last time, but this time I really let this go too long. So the copper crystal was kind of going across the bottom of the bucket. It got into the muck pile. Because it is conductive, right? I mean, it's a bunch of other metals. and it's growing out of it. Like it's like it's dirt outside and there's a freaking plant growing out of it. Look at that. And there's the roots. That's crazy. That is crazy. Oh, I always spill a little bit. All right. Look how much copper. That was all growing. And look, this all right here, that's all stuck to the bucket. Like it was growing into the plastic. So I gotta make sure that I scrub this down really good. And then we'll get all of these copper bits and add it into there for later. Well, Duke said if I put the towel on the table, more than likely he's gonna jump up there with his claws and rip it off, along with everything else. So I don't know if I want to do that. I'm just nervous about this table. You know, whenever it's involving liquids and electricity and you're not home, you know what I mean? The scat mats worked great and he knew. Like he didn't even bother this area. The scat mats, honestly, they haven't been on. I haven't had them turned on because the copper sulfate shorted them out and I figured all they needed to be was cleaned. I tried cleaning them. Nope. They're done for. And they're like 50 bucks each, so I'm not buying any more. Hopefully he just knows to stay away from it. I hope, but seeing that it's in front of a window, and that's what I kind of figured, his cat tree right next to the window would be a good idea. I do have some plastic spikes left that I put behind the couch, so maybe I'll tape some plastic spikes around the perimeter, and hopefully that'll do the job. Dude, this just, it goes to show you how, like, the first one, it had a massive pile at the bottom. I could see it. It was big. So I figured this one was worse. I went through 2 filters, that's it. This one, the pile looks smaller. So I'm like, it's not as bad. Dude, it looks like motor oil. That looks like motor oil. That is gnarly stuff. Like, look at that. My God, that is bad. It's definitely not, you know, blue Gatorade or toilet water. It is nasty. Yeah, I'm gonna go through some filters on this one. Dude, I absolutely love the colors. You can see like the little copper flakes. Like, that is crazy. Yeah, look at them all. All the little copper flakes surrounded by, looks like something else. And then the brown sludge, the oil. It just, like, it doesn't come off. Yeah. This jar is getting pretty heavy. Oh God. I literally filled this up, went outside, rinsed this all out with the hose, washed off the other bars, dumped it to kill some weeds, and now I'm going to swish it out with some, I'm going to dry it and swish it out with some distilled water, and then dry it again. And I'll still probably beat that. Dude, this has got to be the recipe for magic marker. Plus another metal to make it black. This almost has weight to it. I mean, that is crazy. It does. This has weight to it. That is some nasty stuff there. I know some people save them and do all that. No, not me. Dude. What the hell? Dude, the construction dust is just terrible. Yeah. Kind of glad that that part's over with. I think downstairs will be a little bit easier because it's much longer. It's a much longer apartment. So we'll be able to separate things a little bit easier, I'm hoping. But the dust, like, it made it into everywhere. I've cleaned this computer out many times. The dust just keeps getting in there. So if you guys are trying to do this for yourself, you know, I figured out a trick. So these Home Depot buckets are 7.5 to 8 inches tall. That's where I cut them approximately. And then the wood, this wood goes down about 1.5 inches. This wood goes down about 1 inch right here. So, you know, this wood ends up coming in contact with the water a little bit, but it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? You're never gonna get this last little bit at the top. So because this is 1 inch and this is 1.5 inches, there's a 1/2 inch of like slop. So when I'm checking fluid levels, if I have the top of the bar right at that 1 inch mark, then when I check fluid levels after everything is in, I fill the fluid up until it touches the bottom of this one, the 1.5 inches. And then you have a 1/2 inch, a little bit of extra slop, so that you know that the water's not touching the wire, because if the water's touching the wire, it'll dissolve it, and then your bar falls to the bottom. And that's a pain in the ass. And we don't want that. Oh my God. Look at, this is taking forever. Here's the stash. So these, we have at least 2 more changeovers here. And then there's 2 bars here, plus whatever's in there. So we should have 3 more runs. I weighed all of this plus the glass jar, and I was guesstimating roughly 60 pounds of copper right here. Plus, you know, we have these, which are 5 point something pounds each. So I think we should be like, we should be very, very close to half. I know there's going to be some loss, obviously, because we're filtering out impurities. But I would imagine, you know, after we harvest this, we should be pretty close. I just want to get to 70. That is the goal. Well, that's better. Nice and clean. I actually found a couple of chunks of copper behind it. Score! So it's crazy to me how long we've gotten off of these wires now that I've got it all dialed. You know, because if you go online, if you go on YouTube and look up this, a lot of people are going to recommend Root Killer from Home Depot, but I do not recommend Root Killer. I recommend copper sulfate powder from Seed Ranch, 99.9% pure. If you use that stuff, you'll never have to change your wire ever, because the copper, it's like tender. You know what I mean? Like meat off a bone. It's tender meat, and it just comes right off. It's beautiful because you can just keep using the same wire over and over and over again. And I tend to swap them back and forth because I started with, you know, root killer, and the copper was just really on there. So I started letting the levels evaporate, and then I would add back copper sulfate powder from Seed Ranch, and it definitely helped. It didn't cure it, but it helped. I mean, there's still about a pound of copper stuck on this, but for now, I'm not worried about it. At the end, yeah, then I'll get in there and get it all off, one way or the other. But for now, oh, see? I accidentally knocked a little piece off. And this is the great thing about this new floor, is if I drop a piece of copper, I can see it immediately. Before, I was catching them in the Dyson all the time. I had to go in there and dig them out. I got home at like 4. I went straight to this because I knew it was going to take a while. Doesn't usually take this long, but we were moving everything. But I got home around 4 and it's almost 7:30. But I got cat barriers down so Duke doesn't get in there. Sir Trumpinator said, not to worry. He's got it under control, man. He's gonna make our copper bars great again. Yeah! And our distilled water, so we're good to go. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I have 3 jugs up here. Plus, sometimes I'll fill that one as well, so it gives me time to slack on distilling water. And then when I get low, then I have to stop slacking and fill them all back up. But yeah, we should be good to go. So this is crazy, right? I just weighed this. This is mental here. So it's right here, right? These couple of bars and what's in this jar is 60 pounds of copper, roughly, right here. This little bit. What's in this bucket is the same thing. 60 pounds. Isn't that insane, dude? What? It's crazy how it balloons like that. It's just so like, yeah, and once we melt it, it will condense. But we have 60 there, 60 there. We have 11 pounds there, 11 pounds there. So that means we're right on schedule here. I mean, literally right on schedule. Another 2 weeks tops, and we're at 70. Well, I got the crucibles are in the oven, baking at 400 degrees. They're gonna sit in there for like 5 hours today. I was gonna go get the gas tanks filled, but honestly, I woke up this morning and I kind of need a break, to be honest. The last couple of months is catching up with me. I need a weekend of just nothing. So that's the goal for me this weekend, is jack shit. Everybody can screw. I'm not helping nobody. I'm not doing anything for anybody. I'm not interested. I don't want the money. I'm good. I need a break. But I got my gas card is all stamped up, so we're gonna get a free tank of gas. But that's kind of like, it'll be easier for me to do that to and from work one of these nights. So I will do that. But I've been doing a lot of research on the borax. So, because I think I was messing up with the borax last time a little bit. So I think what it was is I was using a giant crucible, and I would have multiple bars in the same crucible, and I saw a ring of borax, so I'm like, oh, I'm not going to add any, there's some in there. And I kept going, and it was fine for a while because it's pure copper, so the borax isn't doing too much. It's not really pulling too much out of it, but it is keeping the oxygen away, which is needed for a nice clean pour, and it lowers the melting point. But by the time I got to like bar 34, 32, you know, that area, the borax started to stick to everything and make a mess, and destroyed ingot molds, destroyed crucible, destroyed a few bars. So I'm going to use those couple of bars that have borax stuck all over them, grind it off, remelt them first, and then do a couple of test runs with like maybe a quarter of a teaspoon per bar and see if that's good. Are we getting too much of a buildup? And then adjust from there before we get into the copper crystal. I have some graphite stirring rods coming, so in case we do put too much, we can take the graphite stirring rod, get in there, and kind of scoop it out without grabbing too much copper. That's the thing. If you put a cool implement into the metal and all the metal just sticks to it, then you're pulling metal out. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted to go a little over, like 1.6, just in case a little gets lost here or there. You know what I mean? But I'm running around getting things ready. We still have about another week or so, and we should be hitting 70 pounds. I want to get some cups or something that ahead of time I can go in and use like a couple of good scales and check them on 2 scales to make sure I'm getting the same number on 2 scales, and have little cups or something with 1.6 pounds of copper crystal already weighed out in it, and have a bunch of them just ready to go. You know what I mean? So when we're at the forge, we don't have to worry about being precise and weighing things. It's all been done in like a controlled setting versus out there. You know what I mean? So that's all stuff that I'm just last minute things, running around, making sure we have everything ready to go. But I kind of like this new spot right in front of the windows here. It's nice and bright. And believe it or not, it's already been a week. Oh, tomorrow it'll have been a week. And these will be ready for another harvest. I've been saving it for Sunday, you know what I mean? It's like guaranteed the only day I know I have nothing going on. So I can mess with these unless I need to intervene in between, but yeah, we're slowly inching towards 70 pounds, which is our target. And from there, we're making bars. So my buddy is coming in like 3 weeks. So I'm also trying to button up a few other things this weekend just so I'm done. Like I gotta touch up the wall and paint the ceiling there and put my thing back up and clean this room. It's the only room that hasn't been dusted off. And then I'm good to go. I just gotta save up for a new heating system, which I'm hoping that the copper bars will help with that. Because I need a new heating system for this unit before I can move down. Stove is sitting out in the shed ready to go. Just need a hand bringing it up. So yeah, my buddy who's coming, it's kind of crazy because we used to work together 4 years ago, the exact same time that I started my YouTube channel. That very point was like the very beginning turning point of my life, right? When I started my YouTube channel. Because my buddy, we're both like inching closer to 40 very, very quickly. He was living with his brother. I was living with some roommate because I couldn't afford to live alone. I owned pretty much nothing. I started acquiring things then. I was doing, YouTube videos about Milwaukee tools and bowling balls, whatever I thought people like would find interesting. I was just trying to build a channel, but my goal was to help the working class knowledge, right? And it's crazy to see because both of us 4 years ago were living with someone else because we could not afford to live alone. We both had nothing. I owned nothing. I had nothing. I had a 550 credit score. I had $1,800 in my name. And that's it. I had my clothes and a few tools. That was it. 4 years later, I'm in a position now where I can help somebody. he's in a position where he needs help. So we clearly took two different roads. He's up to his eyeballs in credit card debt, doesn't have two pennies to rub together, and literally doesn't even have a bed. So we have to go get him a bed. But he does have good credit, so that's that's a good sign, at least. You know what I mean? So I was telling my buddy that I give my cat some steak once in a while. Not all the time, just once in a while. He's a good cat, he deserves it. A $20 pack of steak tips will last him like a week, and he likes raw meat, and he deserves it. He's a good cat. Everybody knows who Duke is. But he's like, you can't be that broke if you're buying your cat $20 worth of steak. And I said, I never said I was broke. I said I don't have any money. Big difference. It's like, you got some learning to do, my friend. That's why you don't have two pennies to rub together. I said, you need to learn the financial system. And read this. I think every American should read this. It's written in very specific language for a very specific reason. It says gold and silver coinage shall be used as money. It doesn't say anything about debt-based. Doesn't say anything about crypto. Well, it's outdated. No, it's not. You can use crypto as a convenience factor, but it needs to be backed and convertible into the real thing at any time. These bills came out as a convenience factor. A lot easier to carry around. But on the back of the bill, in the fine print at the bottom, it said it can be converted into the real thing at any time. And that's how our system boomed. That's how the middle class grew. That's how poverty kind of was just erased. That's how the United States boomed. But then we went to a debt-based system. And unfortunately, you see how they tricked you, and people don't see it. You know what I mean? They're blaming capitalism, saying we need socialism. It's the only way. It's this damn capitalism. That's the problem. No, it was never the problem. It's the money. It's always been the money. Open your eyes. So if we come out with a digital currency and it's not convertible into the real thing, then you know that things are going to continue to get worse. The rich are going to get richer, the poor are going to get poorer. They're going to keep blaming capitalism, and you either play the game or you don't. So that was kind of the goal of my YouTube channel, to at least inspire other working class folks, show it is possible, from nothing. And it's all on there, man. It's all on my YouTube channel. You could see the little tiny corner of a basement that I had at an apartment that I was renting. I asked the landlord, can I set up some stuff in there and make some stuff? And I was in there pumping out built-ins, doing some nice work, making some money, saving up for a down payment. Took the money the government gave me and used it as leverage later after I stuck it in the stock market, put it in a retirement account. All things that I learned by just studying the financial system. The system that we're in now, this debt-based system, I had to start playing the game. So hopefully, at the very least I can get the word out there, educate a few people. Not that I'm an expert or anything, because I'm not. I'm just barely getting my toes wet. Just barely getting my toes wet. I don't plan on stopping here, though. Once I get through this whole building, fix every unit, get higher class people in, rent them all out, I'm going to keep trucking forward. I'm going to go get another and another and just keep going. And I'm going to need some help at some point, you know what I mean? So my buddy, I'm thinking, he's very clean, he's very quiet, he has good credit. Hopefully I can bring him here, give him some knowledge, give him a push, and who knows, maybe we can work together. We'll see where it goes, you know what I mean? But I'm hoping at the very least, I can bring him here, give him the knowledge, give him a push, and then see what happens. And that might be like a perfect example that I could, take somebody, give them a little bit of knowledge that they're not being taught. You know what I mean? It's right there. It's right there if you know where to look. But most people just don't look. I didn't either for the longest time. You know what I mean? So I want to become part of the solution, not the problem. Try to get the word out there, try to help people if I can. And we're going to make some copper bars. Because it's real. It's real money. And it always will be. Yeah, but anyways, guys, I'm running around just getting the last minute things ready, waiting for those graphite rods to come. Maybe another harvest or two. We're going to hit 70 pounds. And the next free opportunity that I get, we're going to go start minting some nice, pure copper bars. So keep an eye out. Make sure you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. See you in the next one.